Hey guys, welcome back, and in this course I will show you how to create a portfolio that will get you interviews for your UI UX design job applications. This course will cover how to establish the goals and the user needs, and in this case the user will probably be hiring manager because that is the person that is going to go over our portfolio and decide if we are a good fit or not for their company. We will create a strategy, a content strategy based on the user's needs, and then we will create wireframe for our portfolio, and then we will turn that wireframe into a high fidelity design. Now, all of this four steps take a bit of time, which is why in this tutorial, in this lesson, we are only going to be finishing the first and the second parts. But please do not skip this part. It would be way easier for me to actually structure this course like in a 1 or 2 videos where I will show you how to create a portfolio, but that kind of a portfolio is usually just a high fidelity design that is made pretty. You have to understand the user's needs and goals, and I will show you how to create the content and the design strategy so that you can maximize your chance of getting an interview. I will show you how I actually created my portfolio as well, what strategies I used to create my portfolio that actually got me over 10% interview rate, meaning if I actually applied for 10 job postings, thanks to my portfolio I actually got 1 interview, which is a very good conversion rate, and I will show you how to do the same. Enjoy the lesson, guys. Alright, so let's get cracking. Now, before we actually go on about what the essential needs for each page of our portfolio and determine what kind of content we want to have on them, we have to understand the mindset of our user, and in this case it will be hiring manager. Now, the reason we have to do this is, while it is very easy for me to give you a tutorial on, let's say, on 45 minutes on how to create a case study on Figma so you can have the design and copy it, that doesn't answer the question why. Why would we design a case study in a certain way so that we can do X? And in our case, we are going to create a portfolio in this tutorial series so that you can increase your chances on getting interview for a UI UX, a job post that you apply to. And that's why we are going to use some principles, but we also have to understand who is going to be the decision maker that will say, I want to interview this person based on their portfolio. Now, this is going to be a difficult question to answer, usually depending on the size of the company. It might be the HR. If it's a small company, it might be the senior designer who's actually looking out for your portfolios. And for us, we will just call all of these people hiring manager. And we are going to basically assume this person having the following problems. So I'm going to just go here and shift 2. And the hiring manager, let's say, they have some problems where they are working on the hiring manager's main goal is to find quality product designers or UI UX designers that are a good fit for the company they are working with. It might be a startup or a large company, and they want to bring them into the pipeline process. And they want to reject all the bad product designers or all the good product designers that are a bad fit. Meaning, if you're a product designer who's looking for let's say, a very large company to work with, this hiring manager who is working at a startup should do a pass on you, because interviewing you would be actually an opportunity cost. They would lose time because at the final stage, you would probably say no, because why would you work for a small company that is going to disappear in 2 years? You will like working for a large secure company. Now, the hard part for the hiring manager though is, because they have to bring 5 to 10 quality candidates to interview, let's say per month, they have to kind of have a fast process, right? Because if 100 people apply for a job posting and you rejected 50 of those people based on their resume, you really do not have that much time to review portfolios if you are going to get applications per month, 100 applications per month. You want to be done as quickly as possible. So we have to help this person to move on through each portfolio as quickly as possible on our portfolio as well, to make a decision whether we are a good fit or not. And this person also has the following problems. If a UI UX designer lacks structure on their portfolio, or let's say they do not describe their personality or what they prefer on their portfolio in terms of work setting, or let's say they don't even describe their hobbies or what they like to do, so we cannot determine they're a good culture fit. All these 4 things add up over time to create friction and make this person lose time. And if we want to make our portfolio more usable, which will increase our conversion rate, we have to make sure that we address these issues. Our portfolio has to have structure. It should take less time to review. It should actually show our personality, but also our design knowledge, and it should also show what we prefer in terms of a workplace. And all of these will be covered in our portfolio site, about page, case study page, and homepage. Alright, so before we go any further, I want to show you, this is my portfolio, and this is the portfolio I actually designed that got me over 20 interviews. And I had a pretty good percentage. Basically, I got 10% of the 10% interviews for every job I applied for. If I applied for 10 jobs, I got 1 interview, which is a pretty good average. So I know that this portfolio works, but there are a few things I did. I said, let's say, who am I? What am I? What's my role? I show them the project so they can determine my competence. I did a lot of these things, and if they want to find more about me, they can go to About page and learn more about me. I really like that they can do these things so that they will have an easier time to actually decide if I'm a good fit. And other designers do this as well. This is Shan Zong. She was a designer at Facebook. And again, this is what she does. This is where she has been. This is her qualifications, so that the portfolio hiring manager can come and say, okay, is 3 years a good enough experience for this particular role? Yes. Where did she work for? Facebook social proof? Yes. And then they can go down, they can click on projects. Same as William Irzabal. And again, me, Shan, and William, we are all at different stages of our career, but most of the things in our portfolio, the things we want to get across is the same. We are trying to solve the hiring manager's problems by basically making it easy for them to say either a yes or no. And again, this is what the William does. He has social proof, what he does, etc., etc., then proof of work. So that's the hiring manager's mindset, guys. Now, what is the goal of your homepage? And homepage is by definition the first page that a hiring manager will arrive after they click on your portfolio. So for the hiring manager, let's look at their goals. They want to quickly look at your experience and your role, probably meaning that if they are looking for a product designer, hopefully you are a product designer and not a front-end developer. And the second thing they are looking for is your level of experience. And if they are happy with all of those, that those 2 checklist items are passed, they want a quick access to your portfolio projects, but they might want to cherry pick. Which is why most of the good portfolios online that you are looking at actually accomplish these 3 goals. You have to tell basically who you are and what you do. For Shan, she's a product designer at Facebook. And then you have to probably show what kind of a designer you are, where have you worked with, and also your level of experience. She worked at Facebook, her level of experience. And then, because she has given what and also why, meaning that why she might be a good fit, because she has the expertise that is an unfair advantage compared to other designers who might not have industry experience or the branding of Facebook. Then she's actually showing you the portfolio projects. Anything else, such as your hobbies, or let's say the things you do outside of work, do not belong on the homepage. The whole purpose of the homepage for the hiring manager is for them to basically go through a quick checklist of saying this person is qualified and doesn't seem crazy, and they have a portfolio I can actually look for and discuss with the senior designer. That's the whole purpose. Which is why in here Our goals are basically answering who we are. We are a product designer living X, what we do, how many experience we have, and our social proof, how many years of experience we have, what we do well, which companies we work with. And these goals of the page actually determine the outline as well, because we will need a hero section with name, role, and a short paragraph. We will probably need 2-3 case study links so that the person can see we can back up our claims of experience with work. And maybe if they are very interested and they don't want to look for a portfolio, they want to interview immediately, we probably want to have a calling or an email option available on homepage so that they can reach to us immediately. And that's the purpose and the goal of the homepage, guys. Now that we are done with the homepage goals and our outline, we are moving to the case study. And to do that, I want to ask you, what are the goals or the needs of the hiring manager when it comes to the case study? What are they looking for? Now, if their goal again is to get the candidate with the most competence and the best personality fit, cultural fit for the company, you probably want to do a few things right. First of all, a designer probably has to show, let's see Yang Quan, she's a senior designer. Let's look at this project. So you probably want to make sure that your project is easy to follow, because a hiring manager who's in a very fast-paced work where they are gonna just skim, they will just do this. And as you can see on the left side, this designer even gives them the option to skip around. Maybe they are interested in one part of the whole design process. Then you want to have your visuals right. You don't want to just have text to explain, but also the visuals so that you can show that you can do the work, whether that is in, let's say, doing exploration and sketches or high fidelity design. But also what matters is that you show your process and you have to summarize your exact role and your goals, right? Because one of the things that the hiring manager is looking for in terms of an answer is, in this whole project, and if it is especially a production level project, which role did you take? Are you a UX engineer where you did the front end and the UI UX design? Or were you much more of a UX researcher where you did the research to the high fidelity design? And these have to be specified. So for the designer, we are looking at the portfolio of, she did the full stack design. I'm assuming that is also with the front end, meaning probably she did build the website, did the high fidelity, low fidelity website. And based on this discussion, really, the case study has a few goals where we are going to show our design process, whether that is discover, user research, prototype, test. This might change for you if you are a UX engineer or you are much more of a UI designer. You want to make sure the page, the case study page, is extremely easy to skim, but also has enough depth. Because unlike a slide deck, you are not present near the hiring manager to explain what happened at each part of the process. Your text and image should actually be enough to convey what the project was about in depth. Now, you also want to show as much as social proof and number, meaning how many people you interview, because the more numbers you can give, the more the person, the hiring manager, will say, okay, this person really tracked what they are doing. They are organized and that's why they are trustworthy. And once we have those goals, this is kind of the outline we are gonna go for, right? We are gonna have a hero section for the project where we will show what the project is about, what the role is. We will show our high fidelity images as often as we can so that when the hiring manager is skimming through, they can say, okay, they got the UI design part covered. We will form a hypothesis, goals for the project. We will show the each phase, research, prototyping, high fidelity, etc. And we will try to share as much numbers as we can, like business results, design results, usability testing results. Let's update this, etc. And all of these are important, and these will, if you nail this content but your UI designs aren't that great, but they are okay, I believe you will still get an interview, but you have to make sure this is right. And that is it for the case study page, guys. Now, if your home page and case study page serve as a basic guide to the hiring manager on who you are and what your competence level is. Your about page is mostly showing your personality and your hobbies to see if you're a good culture fit. And for this designer here, even the way they are picking the language, they are friendly, they are writing and medium hobbies, what they write, and then their background non-UX work. Sometimes they do illustration, sometimes they do uh, actual product design, and they also have some awards recognitions they have here that they are posting here, and that is all good. That shows that they are in the industry, but they also do non-industry work, and they are basically more than a design robot, right? They have a personality. Like for me, you can even go non-design hobbies, right? Like you can go here. That's my mistake. Let's say you are here, and for me, my about page, I can show you that I had a course, you know, I explain how I got into design, what I do on my spare time. I do jujitsu, I read books, etc., which is what I do. And that's the purpose of the about page, really. And how that influences our decision is basically once we once our goal is to show our personality so that the hiring manager can decide if we are a good culture fit. We want to show who we are, like with a profile shot, if we want, if we are a bit bold. And we want to show a paragraph or two of bios and some images, maybe, of our hobby work, etc., to show our personality. That's really the goal. Like, let's add here 3, show some images of hobbies, etc. And that's the about page, guys. So while we covered all the pages, we haven't right now covered what kind of a color scheme typography we would actually go for design. While we are not going to be designing high fidelity yet, or even in the next video maybe, what we have to determine is the brand of our portfolio, meaning what is the first adjective that comes to mind when a hiring manager will see our portfolio, their visceral reaction. Now, for this reason, like what I'm showing right now is a portfolio that I would classify as clean and simple and friendly. Really, from the usage of emoji to the type the person is using, the colors, the white background with the warm colors, it's very inviting. And that's kind of how I feel it would be working with Nadal, right? Let's go to about, and more emojis here, their logical reasoning. And that is, with the illustrations, it's really giving a friendly vibe, bolded, fonts. And that is the vibe he's going for. While in my portfolio, in contrast, in my portfolio, I went much more serious, right? I'm using much more dark background color. While I'm using some warm colors, I am really using fonts and basically CTA colors here that's very dark or darkened. I am much more going for professional serious, which is my personality. And also Yankee's also a bit like that. While she's fun, she's also, let's say, a bit more fancy because of the font she is using, right? It's a very sheriff font. She likes to have fun, but she also is fancy. She's high class. And that is kind of what you are trying to do when you are picking your colors and types. You are trying to give a specific kind of an adjective, a visceral reaction to the user. And so for this case that I'm going to design with you for this series, I picked a few adjectives that comes into mind. I want to be friendly, maybe a bit quirky, and casual. And this is a bit going to be a hard design for me because I am very good at designing stuff I would use, which usually ends up being professional or serious. And friendly and quirky is the first time I'm gonna try to give that vibe, and hopefully I will succeed. Now, just one more thing before we end the tutorial is, once you pick the branding you are going for your portfolio and you outline all of your 3 pages, home, case study, about, a good idea is to actually have a mood board. Mood board for the type of the feeling of a portfolio you are looking for. For us, these are the screenshots I took across the web that gave me a friendly, quirky, kind of casual portfolios, and I took screenshots so that I could come back when I am stuck on the high fidelity design or I'm exploring some options. It's a very good idea to do this. Get at least 6 to 10 screens for 3 screenshots for, let's say, each page, and this should help when you are brainstorming ideas. Now, that is it for this part of the tutorial, guys, and again, this part is very crucial. I promise you we will get our hands dirty, but just not yet. And in the next video we are going to begin wireframing. And if you like this video and you like to hear more about me, please feel free to subscribe by clicking that button below so we can stay in touch, so you can get a notification when this next episode for this series is going to get published. And take care and have a great day. Now, before you go any further, I actually added 2 videos to the end of this video that I believe will help make you a better UI UX designer on Figma. Please watch either of them if you haven't already. I believe they will improve your design skills a lot.